we're recorded. Okay. So we're going to talk about inviting, but we're going to first talk about Facebook posts and then inviting. A lot of the same rules apply to both, but I do want to differentiate about them. So the most important thing is that you can do is, okay, good. Jody's on, but she's not. Oh, she's on Scott's iPad. I thought that was Mia. Yay, Jody, you're here. Okay. So we're going to, the most important thing you can do is invite people, because when you personally invite people, that's how you're going to get challengers. We all know this, right? It's the most important vital behavior, and you have to personally reach out. But a lot of coaches get really comfortable with just maybe posting on Facebook about their challenge group. And the problem with that is that that's not enough. So we're going to talk about some tips to help you, but you need to know that you do need to post about your Facebook, your challenge group on Facebook, but a post is not an invite. It takes a lot of guts to post about a challenge group the first time you do it. And we have a lot of new coaches, and in training, they just did it this past the end of last week and the beginning of this week. And I know it took a lot of courage. I know how scary that is, because you're really putting yourself out there. But when you put yourself out there, and I do it, and sometimes I get nothing. I get no likes. I get no comments. I don't get any personal messages. But that's okay. I'm okay with that, because maybe it was a bad time. Maybe really nobody saw it. Maybe they did. Maybe they're not interested. But you have to consistently post about your challenge group, because that's kind of like planting the seed, because you're going to personally invite them. So it serves as an invite. You know, sometimes when you invite them, they're like, oh yeah, I did see that. I saw you're doing a challenge group. They're kind of already aware of it. It's about that consistency. So if nobody likes it, or nobody comments, or nobody private messages, you don't get discouraged. You have to just keep moving forward. And when they see that you're running challenge groups, and that you're running challenge groups every month, they're going to start to get interested. They're going to think, okay, this is the real deal. I get it now. She's in it. It's not a thing she's just kind of doing. She's really doing this, and she's passionate. Not only is she running challenge groups, but she's living the life. She's working out every day. She's posting about it. She's giving me healthy tips. So it's just that consistency. You want to post in your challenge about your challenge groups 1 to 2 times a week. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be like, you don't always have to say the date or anything like that, but, just kind of mention, and I have a new group starting at the end of April, and so much fun, everybody needs support and accountability. Message me, comment below. It's all about consistency. Let's just talk a little bit about the Facebook challenge group post. You have to be you. You can't be anybody else. You got to talk like you. It's a good example is, you get inspiration by others, by looking at other people's posts. And I always say, for sure, you can use my post. It's okay. And you can, but I'm going to warn you, if you don't put your personal twist on it, or your personal tweak on it, it may not be as well received. People just know it. They get it. I can see the best post, and we've all tried this, right? We're like, oh my God, this is the best post ever. And you just copy it word for word. And that post had like a ton of likes and a ton of comments, and you get nothing. And you're like, what is wrong? It's just because it maybe isn't you. It's not you speaking. It's almost like they know it's not you. So always put your own personal flair on it. Get inspiration, use the wording if you need it, but always try and be true to who you are. A good tip is read your post out loud. And if it sounds like you'll know. Like if that's how you talk, like I don't put on my post like, hey, join my epic group, girl. It's really going to be fun, because that's not me. That's not how I would talk. The other is use colors and use a style that's kind of consistent to who you are. Stay away from Beachbody lingo. No like posting, what's a good example? Like we talk a lot about challenge groups. I happen to say online support and accountability groups, or an online fitness accountability group, because a challenge group is Beachbody lingo. It's okay. A lot of people know what a challenge group is, but a lot of people don't, or maybe they get intimidated by it. So I try and say support and accountability. I try and say online a lot, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't live in your town. And I'm like, no, you don't have to. You don't have to. So, but try and stay away a little from Beachbody lingo. And if you want it to be formal versus informal, that's just what your style is. Like, is your style, very formal, like comment, or do you want to make it more fun and informal? Just keeping with who you are. Speak from the heart. That's another really important thing. Like, you want to, in your challenge group posts that you're posting about, maybe talk a little bit about your story. Don't tell your whole story and then say, enjoy my challenge group. That's not what this is about. But maybe a little something like, let me just mute someone. I wasn't able to do 1 push-up a year ago, and now I can do 10. It's never too late to change. You always can make a change. It's a journey. I've been on this journey for 3 years. I'm always challenging myself. Make it so that they can see themselves there. They can see themselves doing it. They know that, you're a busy mom. You don't have a lot of time. You don't need a lot of time. You could do this. You're worth it. You need to make time for yourself. So add that in. So it's a little bit of you, but they can see themselves in that. And then make it about us. Like, we're going to do it together, right? And please don't ever put a link in your post. Now, I don't mean a link to a video or anything like that, but I mean like your Beachbody website. You don't ever want to put that in any post, because that sends them out into the great world where they can get confused and make a decision without talking to you. And you really want them to use you as a coach. You're a resource to them.
Not a whole lot.
If someone's not muted, if you guys could make sure you're all muted. Somebody's not muted. Okay.
The country was being governed by its councils, led by the...
Okay. Also, when you're creating your post, speak to your ideal customer. My customer is a woman, and usually with school-age children and up, maybe even some empty nesters or a little older. You can't reach everybody. It's not possible. You may want to highlight problem areas. Maybe in your post, you want to talk about losing weight, or you want to talk about, if you were doing the Brazilian butt lift, right? If you're doing a challenge group post, you want to talk about the booty. You want to talk about, like, is your niche, maybe if you had amazing results, your niche is really more about weight loss, and you want to share your journey and share your story. Mine, I had a big weight loss. I mean, to me, it was big. It was like 15 pounds. That was big, but it's not huge. Mine is more about getting fit and living a healthy lifestyle. And just, it always goes back to being yourself and normal words, don't get all fussy and mussy. And then the image is really, really important. Most people live with their phone. They look on their phone a lot. They scroll through Facebook. If they're in bed or they're at a red light, even though we're not supposed to be looking at a red light, they look at the image. That's what they like. Sometimes they like without even reading. They never even read your post, but they love that picture. So the image is really, really important. So obviously no stock photos. Use yourself. If you are brave enough to put yourself out there, use yourself, or something you cooked or made, or your groceries, your dinner, your salad. But with a challenge group post, I really think using yourself is important. Lighting matters. So don't put dark images. People want to see you. They want to see how you look. They want to see that you're fit. And don't put a lot of writing on it. That can get really too much. Just make it really, really simple. And that's okay. It can be you doing a push-up. It can be you doing a plank, and talking about how you're ready to get fit for summer. Okay, so now we're going to move into the personal invite. So you've done you want to be doing that challenge group post 1 to 2 times a week. The one thing I'll say before we move off of that is think about what time is best. You're gonna kind of have to play around with this. I tend to post my challenge group posts on Thursday night. That just seems to be a really good night for me. But a lot of people find Sunday night is a good night, Tuesday night. Sometimes if you're a working mom, if you're working and maybe lunchtime is really good, because you're attracting that type of person, that professional, and they're on Facebook at lunchtime maybe. So you're going to have to fool around and see what works best. It's just trial and error. I will tell you, don't post a challenge group on a Friday night. Not a good night. Probably not even Saturday. So just kind of be aware of that when you're posting your challenge group posts. This is really important. Personally inviting, you always have to add people to your list. This is crucial because eventually you're going to run out of people if you're not constantly adding. You're a new coach, you have a nice warm market, it might be quite a big, but eventually you're going to have to add people to that list. So the easiest way is friend requesting. If you're a new coach, I say 3 a day. If you're a seasoned coach, you should be requesting at least 5 people a day. The easiest way to do that is to pick a friend. I tend to do a new friend. So someone who's just recently I friend requested, they accepted my friend request, and they maybe live in my town. So I know we have a lot of mutual friends probably. And I go in their friend list and I kind of scroll. And when I see that we're connected by 10 or 8 or 7 people, I friend request them. And I do about 5 or 6 a day, and that's it. You always want to have a connection though. So just remember that you always want to have a connection. Don't just do it to random strangers. And when they accept my friend request, some never do, and some do. I'm about 50% rate on that. I always just send them a quick message. And this one was the other day, and this one happened to be, the connection was through my brother-in-law. So I just said, "Hi, Caroline, thanks for accepting my friend request. It's nice to connect with you. I noticed you and I are mutual friends with my brother-in-law, Christos. How are you two connected? By the way, I also noticed you had been on a cruise down in the Caribbean. We just went on a cruise there in March. It was awesome." I copied it and pasted it twice, sorry. So really simple. A lot of times they just I live in a small town, and I think I must know everybody. I don't. So a lot of times I just say, "It's so nice to connect with you. Thank you for accepting my friend request. We live in such a small town. I'm sure we've crossed paths before." And a lot of times they'll answer. They actually almost always answer you. And, they'll be like, "Yeah, I remember meeting you," or "This one actually knows my sister too." So just really get in the habit. That should be part of your power hour, but also that's how you're gonna get more people to invite down the road. Okay. Always invite. Never stop inviting. You do it every day, 5 days a week. You could do it 7, but I always, don't want to scare people off. When you are doing a challenge group, when you have a challenge group scheduled for April 25th, you should be inviting them at least 2 weeks out, at least. I start inviting April 1st. I start inviting for my upcoming challenge group, no matter how far away it is. Because some people take a long time to go back and forth and to make that decision. When I was a new coach, I always wanted to know, what am I inviting to? I don't understand what's an invite, what's a follow-up, what am I inviting to? You're inviting to a challenge group or an online fitness group. You're inviting them to try Shakeology. You're inviting them to come work out with you. Invite them to a free challenge. Invite them to a coach event. Know that there's always a challenge group. On this team, there will always be a challenge group that you can put someone in and be in that challenge group supporting them. So don't ever worry. If you're not hosting a challenge group, somebody is hosting a challenge group. And almost every Monday on our team, we have a challenge group starting. And if they're anxious, there's always a challenge group they can go into immediately. Set a deadline, have a date. It's really important, especially as you're doing follow-ups, to say, my challenge group is Monday, April 25th. It's giving them a sense of urgency and creating that, like, you can't just join anytime feeling. And this is really important, and we're really stressing this in our new coach training a lot. Invite without filters. Don't assume and don't overthink. It's so easy to look at your friend list and be like, "Oh, doesn't have enough money. It's always going to the gym. She's really skinny. There's no way she would ever do this. She's just too busy." Any of those things, you're putting barriers up, and you are saying right then and there, you're making that decision for them. Don't assume and don't make that decision. Let them make it. You're just sharing this with them. You're just saying, "I love this workout. It's worked really well for me." And you know what? Maybe they're ready for a change in their life. Maybe the gym isn't working anymore. Maybe, they're so unhappy, they're willing $140, they can swing that. They want to make a change. So don't ever assume, let them make that assumption, let them make that decision. KISS, keep it simple and stupid. I think that's such a funny phrase. But once again, be you. Just how I invite isn't the way someone else on our team invites, because it's me. But I do keep it really, really simple. And I made this mistake early on, and Sibel and I always laugh because we started our coaching at the same time, and we threw up on everybody. We just like told them everything. We were so excited. And I'm sure I shut a lot of doors and turned off a lot of people. So now I keep it really simple. This is an example of just simple. I always add some sort of personal connection in, or some sort of like, even if it's like, it's so nice to connect with you on Facebook. And then I say, don't know if this would even interest you, but I've been doing this amazing online fitness accountability group. And there's a new group starting Monday, April 25th. I would love for you to join me. Everything is laid out for you and it's super fun. If I give you the details to read over, would you be willing to check it out and see if it would be a good fit? Just an example of something you could say. You could keep it as simple as, I'm doing this great program called 22-Minute Hardcore. It's amazing. It's so fast. I'm in this cool accountability group. I think you would love it. If I can I send you details and would you look it over? So when you ask them something like that at the end, it's amazing how many people say, sure, yeah. We'll talk about what to do when they come back with that. I also like the saying, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you. Sometimes we're building relationships and we go back and forth with someone and we don't know how to bridge into an invite, right? They're a new friend on Facebook. So you've asked them like, hey, what's up? How did, I haven't talked to you since high school. And you kind of go back and forth. And then you're like, what do I say now? Like, I really want to invite them. So you can kind of say, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you. It's just a nice way to bridge. Okay, so they're interested. What do you do? I should have put periods before this because you form them, which is basically asking them about their family, occupation, recreation, and I can't remember what M is. But you basically form them. You're just asking them questions. Now, this was another problem that Sibel and I laugh about now when we used to ask them like 10 questions in one little email message. I mean, of course they were like, whoa, no way. So once again, keep it really simple. I like to say to people, and this has been really working for me, great, I would love to send you more information. Is email or Facebook Messenger better to send you information? And then I'll usually end with, do you have any fitness goals you're currently working on? Or are you exercising now? Just one simple question. Do you struggle more with fitness or nutrition? I bought myself a little bit of time because what happens is most of them come back and they'll say, oh, Facebook Messenger's great or email's great. And then they tell me a little bit more. Oh, I've been trying to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to Vegas at the end of May and I just can't seem to get there. And I want to tone and work on my core. And now I have something now immediately starting to think, okay, 10 pounds. They haven't been working out. Maybe they want to be working out. I start to think, well, a 21-day fix might be good, even 22-minute hardcore, except the end of May is her deadline. So now we're working on a month. So, you start to get an idea of what you're going to recommend. And this is about being a coach, right? Like you're making recommendations. They're looking toward us. So what I do is I make a recommendation, and we're going to talk about where these scripts are and how you can get more help on coming up with ideas on how to answer them back. But I always send a video link. So I may say, I'm so excited. I think this group might be a great fit for you. It would really help you lose those 10 pounds. I know, it's all about simple portion control, eating paired with a simple fitness program, 30 minutes a day. I'm attaching it's called the 21-day fix. I'm attaching a short video snippet. And I always ask them, will you take a few minutes to watch it? And then let's connect. I'd love to hear what you liked about it. And if you have any questions for me, and I can share more information with you. You can also, at that point, you can add in the Shakeology. You can add in the cost if you felt like it. I tend to add in cost later on. I go back and forth on that. It's what you're comfortable with. It's really important in your invites to not get so emotionally attached to them. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, because man, I've done that. Like I've had myself at like 20 SC points and I ended up with like 9. It's really, because you start thinking, well, they'll buy and they sound good. So it takes some people a really long time, many, many times of going back and forth, and many, many times of each month going back and forth before they finally say yes. A lot of them have another idea of what they're doing. They're going to the gym, they're going to walk, so you want to go back to them. as a coach, it's our idea. We want to like educate them, help them understand what the program is, help them understand like how you can do this consistently, what the support and accountability is. It's about building a relationship and trust with them. A lot of times having a free challenge every month is a really great way to do that, because they see you, they see that you care, that you're just not like, you're not into this just to sell something, that you care about them. You're sharing information. You don't want to convince anyone. I always say, this isn't about, yes, I would like to get them on a challenge pack. Yes, that would be awesome for them to buy it. But I don't want them to buy anything that they're not going to use and get results with, because that's not what this is about. It's just not. I would feel yucky. I would feel like a used car salesman, and I don't want them. I want them to be on a program that suits their needs and their goals, and they'll use it and they'll have this amazing experience. And ask lots of questions. And it's okay when people come back and say, this isn't for me. I had someone today come back and say, you know what, I have the 21-day fix and I have a coach. And I said, that's awesome. I'm so glad you have it. So can I ask you, are you using it, and what have you thought of it? And I just am curious. Like, I want to know. And she answered me back. I haven't read the message yet, but I don't think she's using it. I want to know why. Like, are you in a support group? You're curious. Okay. Follow-ups. This is really key when you're personally inviting. Follow up 24 to 48 hours after that first initial invite. I like in the follow-ups, you can give them a deadline. Say, hey, I'm just checking up on you. I wanted to know if you got a chance to watch what I sent you, or to read the information I sent you and watch the video. My challenge group starts Monday, April, on the 25th. So we'd kind of like to, see if you're still interested. You want to create that sense of urgency. And some people, this is a really great tip that I just heard. Some people ask if they can follow up on a certain day. Hey, I'm sending you this video. I'd love for you to watch it. Can I follow up with you on Tuesday? And so that when they say, sure, that'd be great, then you're not being a nag. And I love this. I mean, I've even used this. I don't want to be a nag. I feel like I'm a nag, or so sorry. I feel like I'm nagging you, but I really want you to be part of this group, and our date is coming up. Did you decide to do something different? Because I haven't heard from you. Chances are good you kind of letting them off the hook, right? So they might actually answer and be like, you know what, I'm gonna take a pass on it this month. I don't have the finances this month. So you kind of have an idea. They're not just like blowing you off. When they order, please always follow up. Like when you send them a link to order, or when you do the mobile app to place an order, you always want to follow up with them. Chances they could never have gotten the email, or they haven't done it yet. Like, oh yeah, I totally have the link. I just haven't gotten to it. Thank you so much. I always say, just, I want to follow up with you and make sure you placed your order, so that I can track the order and make sure everything is on its way to you and went smoothly. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and go back to you guys. Okay, so in Goal Getters right now, pinned at the top, and that's where it will be forever. It's going to be the pinned post, is a link to a Dropbox Goal Getter shared folder. I'm sorry, not Dropbox, Google. So it's a Google folder, and in it are invitation scripts, follow-ups, and responses that you can use. How to sign up when you have someone, how to sign them up, like mobile app or sending them a video link. We're going to add in a folder of objections. So how do you respond when people come back to you like, I can't afford Shakeology, or I don't like that fancy shake thing, or I go to the gym. So we'll have a document in there with objections. The beauty of this is, if you're looking for ideas, it's a live document in the sense that if we make changes, those changes will immediately show up. So just go to the link and click on it. If you want to take any of those, that wording, it's a view only, so you can't make any changes to it, but you can copy it into another document. And it's really cool. We're going to do this for moving forward with our documents that we're working on as a team, because Google Docs is a really easy program to work. And there are a couple invitation scripts in there. So take a look at them, because you might want to change things up. I mean, what worked a year ago or 6 months ago, maybe you're not having such great luck doing, and that's okay. So try something else. Sometimes, like, I'm in a dry spell, I'm struggling, and then I'll be on the phone with Sibel and she'll be like, oh my gosh, I just got 2 free challengers they're going to do a challenge group. And I'm like, what are you saying? What are you saying? Send me what you're saying. Because it's okay to change it up. Because if it's working for her, it must be working maybe it'll work for me because what I'm doing is not working. So feel free. And those invitation scripts, we're going to add to them, but there's enough variety for whatever, where you're a brand new coach, seasoned coach, whatever it is. So you can try them as well. Most important thing is never stop inviting. Okay, I'm going to unmute you guys. Hold on. Or you can, if you want to unmute yourselves, and I'll open it up if you guys have questions. Okay, everybody's almost unmuted. Okay, do you guys have any questions?
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I just have a question about Shakeology. You know, I always get, okay, yeah, I want to join it, but without the shake. And then I have my whole superfood, you know, idea. But I kind of feel like when all of my challengers who have joined my groups without doing Shakeology have quit. And Shakeology is really and we all know it's something different and special, but I really want to make it so that if they're joining the group, they have to buy the Shakeology, and then they can always return it within after 30 days, and kind of position it that way, because I find that otherwise it's just a regular, they might as well just go to the gym, you know. But Shakeology is different. It gives them this energy, and it helps them with the weight loss, and it gives them that extra thing that going to the gym doesn't. And I mean, what do you think about that? About saying, listen, to join these groups, you really have to buy the whole package, and then you can always return it if you want to.
So I think you can totally do that. I finally, probably 6 months into coaching, the light bulb went off. I used to be really wishy-washy with it. And when you're wishy-washy with it, like, you can kind of get the fitness program or the Shakeology comes with it. Now I just say, this is the deal. Here it is. It's $140. And with that, you get 30-day supply of Shakeology, which is awesome. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Be sure to tell a little bit about your experience. Like, I was skeptical, so it's really easy for me to say, look, I was skeptical. I was unsure, but it really was a game changer for me. Not only did it help with weight loss, but it helped my energies and my cravings and blah, 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 blah. Now my husband and I drink it every day. We're super healthy. I maintain my weight, blah, blah, blah. But when you position it, it just comes with it. It's like you're getting hammer and chisel or 22-minute hardcore, and you're getting this Shakeology as well. You might get pushback, and that's your decision on how you want to handle the pushback. If you want to push it back and say, you know what, I understand you're a little, I got someone who's saying she wants fancy shakes. I understand that you don't want the fancy shakes, or you don't, but I really think it's so important that you try it for 30 days. And if after a couple of weeks, let's take it, let's see where you're at and what you think of it. That's totally up to you if you want to. And I think it's a great idea. But when you just position it just comes with it. They don't know any different. It's only people that have maybe done this stuff before that come back and go, well, I don't want the shake.
Right.
And honestly, if they've tried the shake and they've come back to me and they say, I tried it and I didn't like it. And, I get an idea, then I don't push it.
Right. Right. If they try it and then it didn't work out, then that's different. But I think the program is designed a certain way, and to really get the full effect, you really have to do it that way. Okay. I just wanted to get your view on that.
Okay, so Kim, this is Mia. Can I interject for a second? I would also say what you just told us, which is that, when you're private messaging someone or talking on the phone, to say, it's really weird, but I've had so many people in my free challenge groups, but we are no different from a gym if you're not, doing what sets Beach Body apart, which is the Shakeology. So you have a great piece of data that you can share.
Right.
And so you can say, I think this makes the difference. This helps people lose weight. It helps them give up their cravings for junk food and et cetera. So I think you should use what you have. That's great.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Question. So I have somebody that I was messaging today. She's like probably 3-4 months postpartum. She just did my free challenge and she rocked it. And I asked her if she wanted to join a 30-day challenge, and she's like, yeah, tell me about it. And she came back to me today and she's like, well, I just spent a ton of money joining 24-hour fitness and I really like my vegan shakes. So would I really just be joining for the group aspect? And I haven't responded to her yet because I want to be like, well, you know, can you put your gym membership on hold for 30 days and give this a try? I'm not quite sure how that works. And she said she really likes her vegan shake. So I want to ask her what shake she's drinking because she says she's going to Mexico in July and she wants to lose the baby weight and get in shape. And I just feel like this would so much fit her lifestyle better than spending a ton of money at the gym.
Yeah, with a new baby too.
Yeah. But she's like, I just spent all this money. And I'm like, crap.
You know what, Jen? I would kind of go along with what I mean, that's like a hard one, right? She may come to that realization in a month, like, okay, this gym thing is not working.
Yeah.
But you can use your experience. Like you know what? I have 3 babies. I had twins and the gym wasn't working for me. Like, I totally get that, you know, you might want to try it and all that, but you know, you can just say, I did that. It wasn't working. I wasn't getting my workout in. This really helps, especially when it's a new mom, and you'll have other support from a lot of new moms do our program and have great success. But it's like one of those things, she's already put money down. So you kind of have to walk that's my comfort zone. Like, you know, walking that fine line. Like, I bet she comes back to you.
Yeah.
Well, another thing I was thinking also is that you can say, I mean, as a new mom, like what's really going to give you results quickly? And that's going to be consistency. Like, realistically, are you going to be able to make it to the gym every single day?
Absolutely.
And with a new baby? And because, I mean, you're probably not, you probably make it to the gym twice a week. Are you really going to get that body that you want by Mexico? So, and if she can't put the gym on hold, so the gym you paid for the full year, but this is just a one-time payment of $140. You can really work towards that body you want, get ready for Mexico, and then you can decide after Mexico, you know, if you want to continue or not.
It's a great idea.
Jennifer, was she going to bring the baby too? Do they have childcare there?
I don't know. I was going to ask her about that. I mean, I want to go back to her, obviously, with questions, but she was so engaged and involved in the free challenge for 7 days, and she was posting pictures, and it's so up her alley, and she's an active person, and this would it would be great.
The thing about the childcare is those places are such germ fests that if she was even considering, you know what I mean? Like, I would never...
I wouldn't.
You know, that's such a bonus to be able to keep your baby at home while you work out and not put him in those cesspools. And but the other thing is does she have a job? Does she work?
She just went back to work like this week.
Oh, I can't even imagine trying to get to the gym and working full time with a new baby.
Yeah.
So I would go with
coaching is what I was going to say.
Yeah.
If she's so involved and contributive and supportive, then we know coaching is what gets us results. It keeps us our asses working out. So just another avenue to explore with her. Like, I know you're just going back to work, but you know, you make a good coach.
Along the lines that Jen and also Carolyn, you were talking about, it's just like the gym. I actually differentiate it from the gym because I feel like these workouts are more efficient, more effective than anything. And I get that kind of feedback from my challengers too, that, oh, I've been working out, but my arms have never been this defined and that sort of thing. So I feel like it's different than the gym. And I think you really need to position it in that way too.
Jennifer, I think that's a great idea because think about like when we used to go, like I'm sure all of us had been gym rats at one point or another, right? This is what we did. We would get on the treadmill, right? This is me. But I know I'm not alone. I get on the treadmill and I walk and I kind of sort of run. And then I go and I'd lift a weight and go like, okay, I'm done. Wow, I have done a lot. I didn't know what to do. And the beauty of these programs is, Jen is absolutely right. Like, someone is there for 25 minutes, 22 minutes, 30 minutes, telling you what to do. You're going to get results because now you're working your whole body. And that's a great differentiation.
I feel like they put a lot of research into, you know, each move that will give you the most bang for your buck. And each of those moves are really thought through. And I can't believe with these 22-minute things, like, I can't believe the result. But I'm maintaining my fitness. I thought maybe I'd lose it. And
yeah, and even before my wedding, I hired a personal trainer, and I paid big bucks, had a personal trainer, and I thought I was on top of my nutrition, and I'm in better shape now than I was then, paying lots of money. So it's like
that's a great
trainer on for an hour.
Yeah, that's an awesome soundbite.
Yeah,
that really is.
That is awesome. You need to be talking about that a lot, because that is such a great. Yeah, I mean, we hear.
You should send us a picture of yourself and say that so we can share that.
Yeah.
Testimonial. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Questions?
I have a question. So I've been really doing my inviting and following up, but I'm having a hard time keeping track of who I need to talk to on what day. Hold on. Who I've already talked. So I have the bubble chart. I don't know how to use it. I write the names down. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be shading. I just need, how do some of you keep track of that? Like, do you use an app? Do you use paper? I just need a better system, because people are falling through the cracks already, and I've just started.
I was a bubble chart girl for a long, long time, because I loved the bubble charts, because I would go back every month, and that's how I knew, like, oh yeah, they were kind of interested. So the bubble chart gets there's not a whole lot of room to work on, a whole lot of room to write things. I'm doing a lot of inviting right now and really focusing on that. And so I've moved to a spreadsheet, and I'm a paper and pen girl. So I write them down, and then maybe a couple times a week, I add them to the spreadsheet with notes. So I just kind of go back to, back a few pages to see. But hey, that is so archaic. So I know there are other women here that can tell you much better ways of keeping track.
Jen uses the bubbles, both Jens, no?
Well, I do two different things. One, I do the bubbles for like a month. And that way I can go back and look at my bubbles every month. What I do to follow up with current people, like to check in with them once a week and once a month or things like that, or go back to people who have kind of fallen off, because I've had some people who did it like 8 months ago come back now, and now they're ordering Shakeology again and getting back into the 21-day fix. I use Excel, and I put reminders in my Outlook. So like if I talk to them one day, I put a reminder in my Outlook a week from then to get back. So that way it like stays as like a task in my Outlook calendar until I dismiss it.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I shared with the group the Airtable application.
Oh yeah, Airtable. Okay.
Yeah, and that you can load directly from your phone or your iPad, and the tables in there you can go ahead and add in, anything you want. It literally works like Excel. It doesn't have a hook into Outlook yet, but it's on the roadmap for that application. So that's how I've just gone through and started adding in all of my contacts from Facebook and Instagram and that. And if someone gives me a like, then I have a column that says they liked me, so I can track and understand like who's hitting me and what's the frequency, so I can understand the threshold of who's, where I'm seeing that. And then I've created another column of first contact, and then, when do I need to follow up with the second conversation? And then I have a notes column saying, hey, like I had a friend today, a sorority sister, that commented saying, I'm going to quit drinking wine and not eat any more carbs. And I'm like, I got to talk to that girl. Like, that's stupid. Like, why would you do that? Right? Because she wants to lose weight. She's a triathlete. So, to me, it's a really easy tool. Works exactly like Excel, but you can get to it directly from your phone or an iPad, and you don't have to be on a PC to use it.
What was it?
It's called Airtable. I'll post the link to it again. It's totally free, no cost to it.
Well,
So it's a really nice tool.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
have something to share that this helped me when I was trying to get to Diamond, because I was trying to keep track of all the people who were discount coaches or whom I had contacted. So I literally went kind of like a paper and pen route, like Marcia was saying. I have a binder and I have it alphabetical letters. So I print out every single time someone makes an order. I print out, not every time, but every, first order. I print out the paper, that you get from Beachbody, the confirmation of their order, and I file it alphabetically. And then I write notes on that piece of paper when I'm following up on them, like, what date I invited them to get their, become a discount coach. Were they interested? What was their feedback? And then what date I want to follow up on them. And kind of like Jen, if they tell me, oh, I like it so far, but I want to check it out in a couple of weeks, I'll put a note in my calendar to call them in a couple of weeks and see if they want to become a discount coach. And then when it came down to crunch time for me, I literally took those papers out of my binder, and then I knew exactly who I had to follow up with to get to my 8 for my discount coaches to make sure I got diamond. So that's how I did it. And it is old fashioned and archaic, but at least it's like a full sheet of paper with lots of room for you to write and make notes on. And then when they became a coach, I put a star and circled it in coach, stuff like that. So when you're getting to that point that you need to amass all of your people and figure out who can get you to diamond because you need to have a certain volume, that is one thing that helped me.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
I just put a note, and so Ashley, I think that's a great question, and I'll talk to Sibel too, and we'll put in the Google folder, in the shared folder, I think we'll do another folder of like tracking options, and we'll just share some different options, including the Airtable and a couple other ones, just to kind of give you guys, so you have choices, but you know that everybody does it differently, and there's no right or wrong. It's what you're comfortable with. But we'll do that. That's a great idea.
So are we going to move away from Dropbox?
No, we can't move away from Dropbox completely because we're pretty invested and have a lot of stuff on Dropbox. However, Dropbox is maxed out right now in terms of, not maxed out really, but for any new coaches coming on that you have to spend the $99. Is it $99, Sibel? $99 a year to really get access to our full folder. There's a lot on it. There's a lot of pictures and images and a lot of stuff that takes up a lot of time. For many of us, Dropbox, Sibel always shares it that like it's her life. It's her backup of her computer. I have a lot of stuff on Dropbox because when you buy that $99 a year, you get so much. I can't even remember how much it is, but I'm not even close to using it. So I back up a lot of stuff as well, and I love it because my husband can share files with me, and it just works for us. But for a lot of working documents, like the invite scripts and things we're using for new coach training right now and things like that, we're going to be starting to move a little bit to Google Docs because everybody has easy access to it. You can view a document without there's no risk of anyone changing anything. We used to have problems with that, people didn't know when they would change or delete or things like that. We've had some issues with. So slowly but surely, but I don't think we'll ever be able to say goodbye to Dropbox forever. I think, Sibel, I'm right on that, right? I mean, we've talked about it, gone round and round.
Yeah. I don't even know how we would handle the images.
We can bring images in. We can. So,
with Google. Well, we can talk about this another time.
Yeah. So
what about the app?
The what?
Oh yeah.
The challenge app.
Oh, challenge app. Oh, that's an interesting question. So I've been curious about it, and I think it's potentially a wonderful tool. So there's a couple issues. One I'm going to address, and one I'm going to throw to Sibel because she's more familiar with. We run our challenge groups together, right? Multiple administrators, and right now on the current version of the app is a single administrator. That's changing, and I was told a month and a half ago, 4 weeks. So that's what they're thinking, that there'll be multiple administrators. And once that gets to be, I think it's awesome. I'm not sure we'll ever completely go away from Facebook, but I love the idea. I love the idea that they can check off, I drank Shakeology and worked off, boom, done. But there's another issue with it, Sib, right?
Well, in my new leader conference Facebook group, people were posting that if they invited other coaches on the team's clients to be on the app for that challenge, since you can only have one administrator, you're inviting other people's clients, it somehow switches them to be your client and it created for people a huge headache to try to undo that. So until that gets ironed out, we don't want to touch it because that's a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
So-
it's Ironman. I haven't heard anything about it since, but
How many of you are registered or on the wait list for Summit?
Not me.
Registered.
Registered. Good. Cool. Okay. Make sure that you are on that Summit Facebook page. I'm going to be adding some stuff this week, just about hotel options, condo options for, we still have some space left in the house, airplane or air prices, just on some things I found for those of you flying out of Los Angeles. And so that'll start populating, a lot of information will start populating in there as well. Cool. All right, remember, if you're on the wait list, is it 24 hours, 48 hours? I don't want to misspeak. Does anyone remember exactly what it is?
Didn't they say June? Didn't it say June? They would let them know or something like that?
No, they're starting to release waitlist people. They're starting to 1,000 a time. They'll send out. You're off the wait list. You're into You're going to go to Summit. But I think you only have 24 or 48 hours to respond to that, and then you're.
It's 24.
24. Thank you. So, okay, great. You guys, thanks.
This is fun.
This is awesome.
All right.
I just want to acknowledge there's one brand new spanking coach on here who nobody knows. So it's, oh my gosh. Raise your hand. And if you're brand spanking new, it's Jen's coach. I want to say Mona.
Marlo.
Marlo. Oh, God, I'm terrible with names. You'll learn, Marlo. I'm really bad with names.
Welcome, Marlo.
So this is her first team call, and she's only been a coach for like a week or two, and rocking it out of the ballpark. So welcome. Yeah.
She sold her second challenge pack today and is close to getting like 5 people in the April 25th group. So
very cool.
Awesome.
Very.
I did have one question for the group. I mean, I know we're super targeted on women. Do we have any tactics about going after men? I mean, I have a lot of male contacts, especially from the professional world, that run and do triathlons and whatnot. So do we do anything that's male focused ever? Or any tips?
We would love to. We just can't seem to get it off the ground.
All
we
right.
tried having Marlo.
I've got
a little while ago, like trying to get that. We have had guys in our groups, and we tried creating a man cave for them to like
right. Yeah.
do it, and have a place to like talk and not worry about like posting in front of women and what women would say. And we tried to get it off the ground, but the guys weren't engaged. So we could find guys to do it by all means.